What distinguishes your favorite characters from the rest? What makes a person feel real? These are questions that you should ask yourself when creating a character for a book series, TV show, or Dungeons & Dragons. I will be approaching character writing from a Dungeon Master perspective for D&D, but most of this video can be applied to any form of writing or storytelling. Also, this video was recommended through a comment a couple weeks ago, so make sure that you let me know what you would like me to discuss on this channel. I'll make sure to add those suggestions to the list of videos, and if you end up liking the video, make sure to subscribe. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe if you want. And without further ado, here is my guide on how to create a fun, engaging, and deep character. In this video, I'll go over 3 main things to ask about your character. What makes your character human? What makes your character iconic? And what makes your character imperfect? Much like my video on fantasy world building, which you should check out after this one, you can see it in the top right corner here, I will split the video into 3 parts. First, what makes your character human? Likeable and interesting characters have something in common with the audience that interacts with them. There are 2 aspects of this. The first is relatability in a positive sense. Maybe your character always has untied shoes because they're too lazy to tie them. Maybe they always forget something when they leave a building. Both definitely describe me. And these little things add on an enormous amount to the character feeling real and tangible. Real people have little tics, things about them, little quirks or curiosities that define them as a person and make them feel real. The second aspect of relatability is a bit more intense and a bit darker. When writing a character, you should figure out how they fit into the human condition. What is the human condition? I hear myself pretending to be, you ask? Well, I'm glad you did. The human condition is a collection of feelings, ambitions, traumas, and eventualities, such as death, that are inevitably felt by every person on Earth. Everyone will feel pain, everyone will have some kind of goal, and everyone will die. You should figure out what area of the human condition you want your character to emulate. This can be used to greatly enhance the story that is being told in a game of Dungeons & Dragons or in a great book. For instance, if your character is defined by the pain and past experiences, this fact lends itself greatly towards character development, towards courage and strength. Your character's human shackles can be the defining trait that pushes themes of the story and creates a deeper meaning in the tales that you weave. But your character doesn't have to be completely accurate to humanity or human traits, otherwise there would be nothing that makes them memorable, nothing that makes them stand out. This is what transitions into part 2. What makes your character iconic? What is some strange personality trait that screams to the audience, this character is unique? For instance, maybe your character is incredibly rude, but deeply cares about their friends. Or perhaps your character refuses to think through decisions because of an abnormal lack of patience. These kinds of traits stick out as defining who a character is. If you've ever seen memes about different shows or movies and thought to yourself, haha, that's so them, then that's a case of this. There was some personality trait that made the character iconic. For instance, my friend group tends to attribute these values to everyone in the group. One of my friends is just the bad pun guy. Whenever we hear a bad pun, he pops into mind. One of my friends is the drinking guy. One time we woke him up by opening a cold one under his nose. He enjoyed it. And I am the ADHD guy, who always gets sidetracked while I'm talking. What was I talking about again? Oh yeah, characters. ADHD does make it hard to focus on the script sometimes, but your characters will also have struggles that define them as well. What is your character bad at? Normally I'd put what is your character good at in the same category, but most people, especially in D&D, define their character entirely based on what they're good at. I want to take a step back and ask what your character's flaws are. The bad pun friend is probably the best player I've ever had in this regard. His 2 most recent characters are incredibly flawed, and it's perfect. Let me explain what I mean. His first character was named Janison, and he was terrified of literally everything. He was a coward by nature, and not only did this lead to some hilarious moments, it also allowed the character room to develop and to grow as the story went on. I won't divulge the secrets of his newer character, but if you want to see his acting and character arc, I'm going to start recording my D&D sessions and uploading them in podcast form to YouTube, so y'all should subscribe so you don't miss that. Anyway, a character's flaws not only make their growth more compelling, but also allows for themes to be woven into a story. I recently started calling my current campaign Of Fear and Fools, because of the large theme representation of how people react to terrifying circumstances. My players and my players' characters have done an amazing job at playing up these themes. They all came into the adventure wide-eyed and foolish, eventually having to wrestle with the fear and horror of certain aspects of the human condition. And this is where storytelling really comes to life, when you take a vibrant and real character and contrast them against a conflict as part of the human condition. Before the end card, I just wanted to say that the character you create should not be some anime character that's magically good at everything because they're the chosen one. That's called a Mary Sue. Don't do that. They should feel real, flawed, and iconic, and should serve the narrative instead of trying to drive it. I'm going to say that again because I think it's so important. Your character should serve the narrative instead of trying to define it and have it revolve around them. Another note here is to focus on how the story can affect your character instead of how your character can drive the story. Let the narrator or the DM, let them drive the story. Your job is to make a dynamic and interesting character that develops, and it's that development that then drives the story forward.
Warning! Shilling incoming!
Wow, you watched the whole video. You are amazing. And fun fact, amazing people are allowed to subscribe to this channel. I know, cool stuff, right? So if you don't want to miss out on writing tips, Dungeons & Dragons stories, and maybe even gaming in the future, make sure to hit the button. The subscribe button. Every single one helps. Like if you liked, and let me know who your favorite TV show character is in the comments. It's off script me again. Don't limit that to just a TV show character. If you want to tell a story about your favorite Dungeons & Dragons character or whatever, I'd love to read them. I always love reading your guys' comments. Yeah, thanks for watching. I recommend these two videos. My Fantasy Guide to World Building is also, it kind of follows the same vein. If you want to see more character development, kind of arcs and stuff like that, I would love to go through that, but I need to know that you guys want that. So you're gonna have to like the video, subscribe, just let me know that you want that, and I will definitely deliver more of it. Most importantly, more than anything, stay nerdy. Have a great day.